In today's episode, I'm shifting gears to talk about a topic that every woman thinks about, but not everyone publicly talks about, especially the shy ones. It's about feeling beautiful in your own skin. Today's episode is especially for the post pregnancy mom with small kids who's feeling like a used up and beaten down version of your old self and looking for a way to game up your skincare routine. It's for the breakout-prone woman who's tired of trying out a million lotions and potions that promise you everything but deliver on nothing. And finally, it's for the older mom who never had to deal with skin problems before, but now you have a teen or preteen who's starting to have skin issues, and you just don't know what to do. On the other hand, if you have easy skin and only need your trusty moisturizer every day, or you already have a beauty and skincare routine that you're happy with, tune out now because there is such a thing as overinformation, and I don't want to confuse you or waste your time. But feel free to come back to this episode if things do change for you. Hi, friends. If you happen to need a female voice talent for your audiobook or ebook, or require support when it comes to letting go of sticky, stressful thoughts one at a time, please check out my offerings on my website at suristahel.com or reach out at suristahel@gmail.com. Welcome to episode 21 of Doing Things on Purpose with me, Suri, the podcast that empowers women to take charge of their time, health, relationships, and money by doing things on purpose. Let's start today's episode with a short mom check-in. How are you doing this week, moms? I hope you took the time to take care of you this morning before heading out into the world. If not, tomorrow's another day. But please don't keep putting yourself last. And how's your day looking as you plan and schedule time for your big dreams and intentions for this week, the next month, this year? Don't forget to take care of the little things too. Carve out at least half an hour a day to do basic chores in the house that just need to get done. Today, is it vacuuming, taking out the trash, doing the laundry, changing the bed sheets, cleaning the bathrooms, picking up toys from the floor, washing that mesh filter in your kitchen's extractor hood? Or maybe it's even buying a new charcoal filter if you have the kind of stove extractor hood that recirculates air instead of pumping it outside. Most people don't even know that these filters need to be activated in the oven every few months and also replaced every few years. Yes, I know how you're feeling. It feels like the cycle never ends. And it doesn't, in a way. Taking care of your home, yourself, your relationships, your work will always be a continuous practice. So don't think about it as a burden, but just something that's part of life. And maybe eventually you'll even start to enjoy it once in a while. And remember, a messy home today does not mean a messy home 3 years down the road. Things do get better. Our kids do grow up. Just keep on going and trusting in the process. Jumping straight into today's topic, I'll be sharing my personal skincare routine for sensitive, breakout-prone skin and the exact products I use, which have remained largely unchanged for the last 5 years or perhaps even longer. So why do we need to purposely talk about beauty? Because it is just another area in our lives that we do have to deal with day to day. And let's be honest, it affects our sense of self-confidence, our perception of others. It consumes our time, our attention, and of course, our money. I love the fact that we're seeing more and more people of all colors, shapes, sizes, styles, and attractiveness levels showing up in our social media platforms and in the movies nowadays. We still do mostly see beautiful people with flawless skins and perfect makeup take center stage. And we believe that that's the level that we need to be at before we can show up. And I struggle with that belief too. So how can we begin? With social media, know that the social media algorithm learns from what you consume and not consume, what you like and what you ignore. So start searching or following or liking posts from people who show up as they are, who embrace themselves as they are. Maybe renegades with gray hair, people with bare skins, wonky fashion, or imperfect features. People that embrace aging, that inspire you to be you, and make you feel empowered to put in as much or as little effort on your appearance as it suits you. The more you support people like this with your likes and reposts and comments, the more you allow the algorithm to lift up their messages and reach other people. On the flip side, start unfollowing or at least muting people or posts that always leave you feeling compared to or less than. When you're served something you don't want to see, just click on the three dots on the right-hand side of that post and click Not Interested, Show Less, or Hide Ad. Yes, these are all real options that you can choose. As an Asian woman, I grew up with oily skin. I never had super bad skin, but I constantly battled with clogged pores and pimples and blackheads here and there. If you have oily, pimple-prone skin, you know that using makeup to hide pimple scars can be a nightmare, especially talking as a woman with a darker skin tone. Our skin can scar so easily. Added to that, if you have sensitive skin, drugstore makeup breaks you out. All foundations only last half the day, and then they either disappear or turn one shade darker. And if you choose matte concealer so it really stays on your oily skin, like the infamous Laura Mercier Secret Camouflage Concealer, the spot you concealed ends up sticking out like a sore thumb once the rest of your foundation disappears. And don't even let me get started on the problem of hiding uneven, bumpy skin. We're talking about shadowing and highlighting here. So I've gone through it all, it feels like. I was that girl browsing reviews online, asking questions on Sephora and Makeup Alley. I followed dermatologists on YouTube like Dr. Dre and Dr. Sam Bunting, as well as beauty gurus like Gautamista, Leah Yu, and Lisa Aldridge. I researched ingredients and tried them out. I discovered that what they promised on the bottle or in the lab didn't mirror my real-life experience of using the products at all. Non-pore clogging did not mean that they did not clog my pores. So it was a lot of trial and error. Thankfully, these days my skincare routine is pretty set in stone, and I'm happy about that because unless you're in love with experimenting on beauty products all the time, you just want to find the things that work for your skin and finally move on with life. It's just like finances. You just want your money to be managed, you have a system in place, and then you can chase and do other things with your time. As a mother, I also wanted a routine that's gentle and effective that I can happily pass down to my daughter who's now turning 12 and showing signs of problem skin. So I did ask my daughter to try my routine for one whole week to see if it will help her. And it definitely did. Every day her face just kept getting better and clearer. But as a young teen, she's not really that motivated to do it regularly and to do it herself. And I'm only willing to help her so much. So right now, we just do it whenever she feels like it or when she's fed up with how things are going. In any case, she knows it's something she can always turn to if she needs it. So here's my evening skincare routine for sensitive-skinned girls and women to try. First of all, let's start with cleansing. There's a myth that's still circulating around that acne face wash helps because it strips your skin of oil and treats it at the same time. The first thing I want to mention is that your skin does not need to be stripped because it needs balance to stay healthy. After you rinse off your cleanser, your face shouldn't feel squeaky clean or tight. It should just feel comfortable. Secondly, the short amount of time that your cleanser stays on your face isn't actually enough time for it to treat your skin. So my first recommendation is to do the double cleanse with gentle products. Double cleansing is when you use an emollient product like a cold cream, a cleansing face balm, or a cleansing oil to break down the oils on your face before using a gentler second cleanser to wash off any residue from the previous balm or oil that you used. Of course, most balms or oil cleansers market themselves as products that can be used independently. That means you don't need a second cleanse. But what can I say? I find myself having clearer skin with the double cleansing method, and I'm not going to question it further. I just know it works. The only time I don't use oil cleansers is if I've had a completely makeup-free day or in the mornings when I just use one gentle cleanser or water to rinse the night off. So I've tried a few oil cleansers. They come in different bases like castor oil base, olive oil, mineral oil, and so on. And depending on how your skin likes or dislikes certain ingredients, some can of course break you out or cause your skin to dry out, believe it or not. My favorite is Shu Uemura's Anti-Oxy Clarifying Cleansing Oil. It comes in a green pump bottle. For the price, it can seem pretty expensive, but I always buy the biggest bottle I can find online, and that lasts me a whole year or more. So it's actually really good value for money. So what you do is you apply one pump on your palm and massage it onto dry skin. This breaks down the oils, the makeup, the sunscreen that you might be using, and this is also a good time to do some facial massage. A facial massage helps to improve circulation and clear up any bumps in the skin even more quickly. I don't necessarily do this every day, but I'll share a very relaxing face massage video that I follow made by Lisa Eldridge on YouTube. Alternatively, you can also use a tool called the Gua Sha massage stone, which is a business card-sized stone made out of cut jade or rose quartz that you can use to gently scrape over your skin, jaw, and neck while having the cleansing oil on. I'll include a picture of it in the show notes. So once you're done massaging the oil all over your face and down your neck, you wet your hands a little bit and you massage your face again to emulsify the oil. It will turn a little milky. You do that twice more and then you rinse completely. And then for the gentle second cleanse, here are 3 products that I recommend. Number 1 is the L'Occitane Milk Cleanser or Cream Cleanser, which leaves the skin soft and not squeaky after rinsing off. The problem with L'Occitane is that they love to reformulate their milk cleansers. It's quite annoying. I used to use their original shea cleansing milk, which was great because it could remove light makeup and still leave the skin feeling soft. And then it got discontinued and I used their fig and honey cleansing milk, which I still have. And this year, they've just discontinued the fig and honey and reformulated the shea cleanser, which is now available as a milk or a cream cleanser, which I have not tried. I'd like to mention that reviews say that the milk cleanser is too watery, but the cream cleanser sounds promising. So I probably get my hands on that when I run out of my fig and honey. I have no idea why L'Occitane keeps doing this. Someone please stop them. The second cleanser that I can recommend is the CeraVe Hydrating Cleanser, which does leave a slight squeaky feeling after rinsing off, so it's not my favorite. Number 3, CeraVe also makes a hydrating oil cleanser that's more moisturizing than the previous one, but the texture isn't really like an oil. It's a little too tacky and less slippery for facial massage, but I think it's also a good second cleanser to have. Or if you're not ready to splurge on a proper first oil cleanser, this could be the perfect 2-in-1 cleanser for you to start with and just see if it's all you really need. Step 2 is treat and moisturize. For problem skin, we want to treat our skin both from inside the pore and also on the surface of the skin as well. Again, in a gentle way, because we don't want to use something that dries out the skin so much that gunk stays trapped in the pore, and also not something over-exfoliating that it leaves the surface of the skin raw. So I like to switch days between these 2 types of treatments. The first treatment is a BHA treatment in the evenings. BHAs, or beta-hydroxy acids, typically in the form of salicylic acid, are exfoliating agents with small enough molecules that can penetrate within the pore and help to clear it out. You've probably seen a lot of ads about this on TV. So there are many different kinds, and some formulations are drier than others. The one I like the most is the CosRx BHA Blackhead Power Liquid, which is a Korean brand, and it contains BHA as well as niacinamide to boost radiance. It's a very gentle formulation. How do you use it? It says at the back that you should pump it on a cotton square. But with all my products, I don't necessarily follow directions because it can result in a lot of product wastage. So what I do is just to pump one pump on my palm and then use my fingertips to spread it over my face. A treatment I like to use in combination with this BHA is another product from CosRx, which is their Advanced Snail 96 Mucin Power Essence, which is basically filtered snail slime. Snail slime is hydrating, it contains antioxidants, it is antimicrobial, and promotes wound healing. It's actually been used for medicinal purposes since the time of the ancient Greeks. Then I top everything off with a light moisturizer. I like the CeraVe moisturizing cream since I have slightly drier aging skin now. But if you have oily skin, you can use the CeraVe PM facial moisturizer, which is a much lighter formulation. I like that the CeraVe has ceramides in it, which helps to strengthen the skin barrier. And on every other day, I use an AHA treatment for the evening, which is an exfoliation on the surface of the skin. As we age, our skin renews itself at a much slower pace. Your skin starts looking dull or more textured. So AHAs help to stimulate things. And my favorite type of AHA, or alpha hydroxy acid, is lactic acid because of its non-drying effects. For me, I find if the skin is overexfoliated, it gets this shiny texture that doesn't even absorb moisturizer, so it really makes your skin look even more creepy. I've just learned over time that gentle is best. So what I've been using is the lactic acid 10% plus HA 2% serum by The Ordinary, a very cost-effective, low-priced product. As I said, I use this on alternate nights after cleansing and patting dry my face. And remember, always use a clean towel, that means a new towel or a tissue. Then I take a dropper dispenser of this lactic acid. Then I squeeze a drop on my forehead, one on each cheek, and one on my chin. Then I smooth it on with my fingertips. Because surface exfoliants like this tend to sensitize skin, I like to use the thicker CeraVe moisturizing cream instead of the lighter lotion. And what I like to mix the moisturizer with is my healing oil of choice, tamanu oil. If you haven't tried tamanu oil, it is great at healing kitchen burns, small cuts, and fading scars over time. I find even more than zinc cream. If you're older, you know how long it takes for things to heal. It is by no means a miracle oil, but if you're consistent, I think you're going to see results. Just watch out if your skin is sensitive to it or starts to break out. You can try less of it. The brand I like to use is from Saint Hilaire. Not all brands are the same. It should be cold pressed, have a thick consistency, and comes in a dark green color. And it has this really distinct, deep, earthy smell. So I mix a little pump of this with my moisturizer. And again, how I apply it is to just put some dots over my face and smooth it over. If you have sensitive or breakout-prone skin, do not over moisturize. Now let's move on to ideas on how to keep the balance. Do take notice of how your skin reacts and take days off from using treatment products as necessary. You shouldn't have to live with skin that feels thin or sensitive. On off nights, just layer on some moisturizer. Some weekends, I don't even wash my face to let the skin rebalance itself naturally. Regarding makeup and sunscreen. Makeup is a difficult topic for me because I've, again, tried so many. As I've mentioned, the wrong makeup on sensitive skin can break me out and leave my skin feeling itchy all day. I do have some tips for sensitive skin girls, though. Number one, I would suggest you to focus on your eyes and lips. A neat brow can make anyone look instantly more polished without the risk of breakouts. I personally like using MAC's Clear Brow Gel, and then once it's dry, I fill in any sparse areas lightly with a brow pencil. Number two, Instead of using a whole face of foundation, choose to spot conceal. And I like mineral makeup. I've tried brands like Jane Iredale and Bare Minerals, but my favorite find is a small brand called Afterglow Cosmetics. It has a great color selection for darker skin tones. You probably have to order it online. I don't apply it all over with a kabuki brush like a foundation. Instead, I use a small brush and just take some of their mineral foundation powder and cover any under eye circles or overpigmentation or scars that I have. Then I use their setting powder so that things last a bit longer. It's not full coverage, but it's something that looks subtle and very natural. Number 3, consider using sunscreen only when you need it. This might sound controversial for those of you who are skincare fans because everyone knows the sun is causing wrinkles and pigmentations and everything bad. But if you're prone to breakouts and you're not really a sun worshiper, I would honestly consider using sunscreen only when you need it. Because although there are some good sunscreens out there, they can be drying, they're always pore clogging if you use them every day. So it's again like that cycle with makeup where you're just perpetuating bad skin. So you have to find a balance that works for you. Some products I've tried that I find are less irritating has been the Ultrasun Extreme SPF 50 and the Aven Intense Protect. I've also tried some physical sunscreens, but I find they really dry out my skin. So that's my take on the basics of skincare that you might need to know if you have sensitive skin or if you have a teen with sensitive skin so that you can start looking and feeling more confident. I actually have a lot more products to recommend when it comes to extra beauty products. For instance, if you've just had your baby and your hormones are still wacky, you might be battling with shedding hair, bald spots on your eyebrows. You might suddenly notice your skin being so dull after that pregnancy glow fades. Know that this too shall pass. It will get better over the years. But if you're looking for an emergency solution, just go to the show notes of this episode at suristahel.com/21 for this episode 21. To summarize, how much would this basic sensitive skin routine cost? I've done the rough calculation and I would say that I spend around $200 US dollars on my skincare routine per year, which is not super cheap, but actually not expensive at all when you divide that over the months. So I hope that you can try some of the products I've recommended and let me know how it goes. If you like, you can also share how much time, effort, and money do you personally invest on your beauty routine. I love hearing your comments, and if you have any questions, just email me at suristahel@gmail.com. That's all I have for you today. Again, the show notes and all the products mentioned will be listed on suristahel.com/21. I wish you well, and I thank you again for listening to Doing Things on Purpose with me, Suri. If you like this episode, please give it a thumbs up, 5-star rating, or positive review wherever you get your podcasts. It can really help other people find it as well. And if you'd like to connect, you can always find me on Twitter, YouTube, Facebook, or Instagram. By the way, I'm going to be off for 2 weeks. It's ski holidays here in Switzerland, and I'm going to go back to Malaysia, so I might not be able to post for the next 2 weeks, but I'll catch you again after I get back.